What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and everybody is talking about the missing Titanic observation submarine. What they're not talking about is some of the interesting woke rhetoric used by the CEO of the company and their hiring practices. It could literally be one of the first cases of death by DEI. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's actually, haunting. Now, to be clear, I hope that they're rescued. I hope that they're safe. Annie's here. Say hi, Annie. Yeah. And I don't, there is some like dark humor, I guess I like it, I think is funny. But then there's also like this weird leftist cheering for these people to, laughing at them dying mostly just because they're rich, which is cringe and bad. We know that if everybody on this boat identified, had pronouns or were they thems, we'd have the full deployment of the U.S. military to find them. Now, if you're not aware of what's going on, essentially there's a tour that goes down to see the Titanic wreckage. It's not cheap, as you might expect. This particular submarine that goes down to see that has some interesting mechanics, including a off-brand Logitech, off-brand PlayStation controller. It's controlled with that. There's a 10,000 square mile ocean area. Now, what makes this compelling is that there's only a few hours left. There's only a few hours left to find these people because they're running out of oxygen. I believe they run out of oxygen sometime around today, later today or later tonight. And what's first happening now is the military has picked up some pounding sounds. Are they people inside the sub banging wrenches against it? Hopefully. Could it be completely something else? Yeah, and here's what they're saying. You can hear that, like, doot, 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 and then it gets louder, I think. It certainly sounds like there's some knocking they're hearing, which would, very, very, very help them immensely in locating the actual location of this thing. So, and by the way, it's extremely deep. It's extremely deep. So there's a fleet of people looking for them, including a P-8 Poseidon, a C-130 Hercules, Canadian P-3, which is the thing that actually detected the underwater noises, the mothership. Now there's some subs that can dive up to 20 feet or 20,000 feet. Unfortunately, I'm not sure they can actually get to, I don't know if they can get deep enough to actually get this thing. He would not confirm, by the way, this is of the sounds, that they were 30 minutes apart as reported, nor did he describe them as being an SOS signal as others claimed. However, Frederick said the sounds and the ongoing search meant there was still reason for hope. Several flights heard noises today. The P-3 heard noises as well. We don't know what the noises are, to be frank with you, and they could be described as banging noises, but they are inconclusive. The good news is we're searching in the area where the noises were detected. He said, well, this is it, basically, right? If these sounds are two pieces of metal happening to, in the undercurrents, bumping into it, that's it. They're going to run out of air. This is basically it. The only remote operated vessels that there are today and searching have a depth limit of 13,000 feet. The Titanic is buried at 12,500 feet. And a lot of people think that perhaps the whole thing already imploded. I hope not. I hope that everybody's okay. But, there is interesting stuff. There's been safety concerns with this thing before. Everybody who's done it before has come out now to they have a $29.99 battery-powered gaming controller used to pilot the lost Titanic submarine. Has received hundreds of complaints since launching in 2010 for losing connection and constantly breaking all the time. if that's possible, it's certainly possible that the controller used to steer the thing lost connection, broke, or one of these things. And now normally, just like in like airplanes and things like that, normally you would have some sort of redundant system, especially for something as important as a steering wheel. Yes, Annie. Annie's very interested. But that's pretty interesting to me. The Logitech GF110 wireless gamepad is the only compatible with a decade-old Windows and Chrome systems. I know how many do they have? Do they have backups? It's interesting. I don't know. And then here's what people have really picked up on. As my cat chews. Here's the CEO of the company. Yes, Annie. The CEO of the company, which is operating the missing Titanic tourist submarine, explains that the company didn't want to hire any experienced 50-year-old white guys because that wasn't inspirational.
Listen to what he talks about. The CEO talks about hiring people.
Yes, I mean, when I started the business, one of the things you'll find, there are other sub-operators out there, but they typically have gentlemen who are ex-military submariners, and you'll see a whole bunch of 50-year-old white guys.
What's wrong with that?
I wanted our team to be younger, to be inspirational, and I'm not going to inspire a 16-year-old to go pursue marine technology, but a 25-year-old, who's a
female pilot. Insert your woman driver jokes now.
Or a platform operator, or one of our techs can be inspirational. And so we've really tried to get very intelligent, motivated, younger individuals involved, because we're doing things that are completely new. We're taking approaches that are used largely in the aerospace industry, is related to safety and some of the preponderance of checklists, things we do for risk assessments and things like that are more aviation related than ocean related. And we can train people to do that. We can train someone to pilot the sub. We use a game controller, so anybody can drive the sub.
This is literally death by woke. Now, we don't know if it was an equipment failure. Certainly that isn't, that wouldn't necessarily be the fault of whoever is hired. But if you're not hiring the best people and you're just hiring young people, I think that anybody can drive the sub with a $30 video game controller. Yeah, but now is the time when experience matters. Yes, inexperience, but understanding how to drive or how to do this or that, the basics. This is simple. Anybody can learn it. But what experience gets you is when the times get tough. What do? You've been there before. You've heard about things that work. You have the experience. I mean, what an idiot. We're thrilled to get very intelligent, motivated young people. Now, people still signed up in this to do this tour anyway. Now, the founder and CEO who navigates the missing Titan submersible with a cheap Amazon video game joystick has been trapped in the tiny vessel since Sunday with 4 wealthy adventurers who paid $250,000 apiece for the tour. Again, I have nothing, I don't care about whether or not they have money. I mean, it costs a lot of money to maintain these companies and do these type of things. I suspect that's probably a big part of it. That's I'm assuming. Now, a frantic Coast Guard operation was underway to locate the tiny vessel and save the maroon team, who has less than 1 day's worth of oxygen as of Wednesday morning. Today's it. They've got to find them today. They've got to get them out today. And who knows, if they find them, how long will it take to actually rescue them? I don't know. It's very, very concerning. But what I will say is any company that hires based on diversity is also, a different way to put this, is also saying that they are not hiring the best person for the job. And that generally leads to bad things. And again, we don't know that these things are related, that it was an experience thing, that any of this stuff is true. But we do know what guides their CEO's position. And now, with hours of oxygen left, I wonder if he's hoping that he had brought in some of those 50-year-old white guys. I hope you were informed by this video. I hope that they get found and happy and healthy. And I guess we'll know in the next couple of hours.